watching News 24 Live. Last year, well-known local entrepreneur Alan Knott-Craig was in studio to tell us about Project Isizwe, an initiative to roll out Wi-Fi across South Africa. He's also an author, and today he's going to be telling us about his new book, So You Want to Be a Hero. Alan, good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's nice to be back here.
Good to have you back, and on a different subject somewhat. So You Want to Be a Hero. What is this book about?
Well, it started as an employee handbook. So instead of having to repeat ourselves over and over when we bring people in, we just wrote a book down with all the rules of what you had to do to succeed in our system. And then some outside kind of investors and businessmen saw it and ordered some. In fact, we had to send a few hundred copies to the States. And it kind of snowballed from there. Now it's kind of on Amazon, and it might even go to the point where we're going to put it through exclusive books. So it started as something very small, but has iterated into something a bit bigger.
Okay, so would you call it like an entrepreneur sort of handbook? Entrepreneurship for dummies?
Yeah, I would.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, whether you want to go into business or whether you want to just succeed in your career,
okay.
It's a good way to just.
So it applies to all levels?
Yeah,
okay.
Basically if you're 21 and you don't know what to do with your life and you want to avoid a whole lot of mistakes, like I wish I could have avoided, read the book.
Okay. So from your respective journeys and positions that you've held, what have you learned? What are some of the sort of standout points of advice?
Well, the first thing is you got to trust people, and figuring out how to trust people is very important. You can't go through life without making yourself vulnerable. But to then filter through, the people in the world that are going to help you or not going to help you is hard. There's some tricks in there. I think there's some great advice from people like Michael Jordan and Brant Pretorius, who are talking about trying to take risk in your life. Take risk early. Don't wait until you're 40 or 50 before you roll the dice. You can't recover then. You can recover when you're 25. And I think lastly, I've got a big section in there around the importance of getting married young and having children quickly, because a lot of people seem to think that's a hindrance, but I believe that's very much a bonus and an asset for being an entrepreneur.
Okay. In what sense specifically?
Well, firstly, if you marry someone who's got a bit of money, you've got a bit of runway to start your business. But at the very least, you can earn a salary whilst you struggle it out. Secondly, you don't want to have made your money and then find the woman of your dreams or the man of your dreams. So it's easier to find your kind of soulmate when you're still young and kind of naive. And I think children and your wife will just give you a hell of a lot of perspective. And I've had the good fortune of having some pretty big setbacks along the way. And it's in those moments that you really appreciate what it's like to have people that love you no matter what.
Okay. Now, Alan, you've written a couple of books before. Don't Panic, Mobinomics, where you sort of champion the sort of tech and mobile space in Africa, encouraging people not to go abroad. There's lots of opportunity here, encouraging people to stay. Do you still feel that way? And how has that theme sort of flowed into this book too?
Yeah, so in the older, I've written a couple of books trying to tell people, don't panic, the grass ain't green on the other side. And especially in times like this, if anything, it's the worst it's ever been. Some really optimistic people are feeling quite negative and worried about the direction of the country. But I've had the good fortune to travel a lot. And I can tell you, man, when you've seen the rest of the world, you realize we've got our problems, but this is still a one-in-a-kind place. And whilst I'm pretty sure we're going to go through some storms up front in the coming couple of years, I'm so bullish on the long-term future of South Africa, it's ridiculous. So this is how you want to be a hero book. I guess is for people who want to get ahead and seize the day and be opportunistic and optimistic. And it just kind of, the idea is to give you a tool set for when you're young to take advantage of times of uncertainty. And South Africa is going to go through a time of uncertainty in the coming years. And the guys who can deal with that are going to make money and be happy.